Hey everybody, my name is Mike Demar and I want to welcome you to this latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. Today's topic I'm going to be talking about is doing tasks. Um, Basically what I mean is doing household chores, doing stuff that we have to get done in our lives, you know. And I know that this can be real tough depending on the level of your intelligence or, well it's not based on that, but level of mental capability, and it can be real tough for someone to get the daily tasks done. Like, you know, we got to do dishes, gotta cook, gotta do trash, do laundry and clean. I know it can be real hard for people to do that, and I understand because it's real hard for me to do some of the tasks at hand, but they have to be done. And I know that there are certain people that are on the spectrum that do need help and do need reminders. Like they have to have notes all over their place saying you have to do this at a certain time, and you have to do this at a certain time. You have to do this on a certain day. You have to do this on a certain day. And I know it can be real tough. I understand. Because I've even gone through this. Well, I don't need notes on the door because for me, I think it's a little childish for me. But I mean, for someone that's a low functioning person that's on the spectrum, that's how they get their tasks done, is by having notes all over the place, let them know what's going on, you know. And I'm not going to question anybody. I'm just saying that I'm trying to say that there are tasks that need to be done on a daily basis, and how you do them and how they are received by the person that's on the spectrum depends on how they can comprehend that and get it done. I want to give you one example, and that's bringing the trash out to the street. It's not a hard task to do, but it is a task that needs to be done at least once a week, because trash pickup is twice a week here. And I know that when it gets full, it has to go out to the street the night before the trash pickup. And, like, for example, I have a couple of neighbors that don't do their job and bring it out to the street. But I understand why it might be a little hard, is because it might not be comprehended to them. That they might not know that they might have to do this. It can be real hard for someone that needs more help, needs more direction on how to do it. Because I know that we shouldn't be responsible for us. We should be only responsible for us, but we shouldn't have to be responsible for them also. And I know it can be tough. I understand how tough it is. And I had a talk with someone about this recently. And I happen to agree with this person because, I can understand that it's hard to do a task. A simple task, like put the trash out on the street. Where I know it's a simple task, but for someone like someone else that's on the spectrum, they might think it might be a little bit harder for them to do it. I can understand that. Personally, when I was living with my parents, putting the dishes away was a tough task for me to do. I know it might be a simple task, but for me to do it, it seemed like it was hard. And that was because, also, in my defense, when I was moved back up there with them, they kind of expect me to do it, and I'm like, oh, sure. I moved back into this house and I have to do this again. That's what my defense on that is. I have to put the dishes away from the dishwasher. You know? Or another thing is trying to keep my room clean, or bedroom clean, or house clean. And that's a little bit hard for me too, because I might be, I'm kind of a pack rat. I like to try to keep everything, and it's hard on me too. And probably buy junk that I don't need and stuff that I don't need, and you know what I mean? So I know how it is, and I can understand that. We gotta try to keep this house clean, because you don't want bugs to come in the house. You don't want mold in the house. I can understand that. I know that some people that are on the spectrum might not be able to comprehend that part, and that's why some people need to have structure in their life. That's why people need to have notes around the house to let them know. You need to do this on this day. You need to do this on this day. You need to do this at this time. So that way they know what's going on. And you can apply this at work even. Or at school. Because you can figure it out that when you go to work, you have to do a certain amount of tasks per day. And I know it might change and might be different, but at the same time, they're your tasks. You're getting paid for it, either at work by getting paid by money, or by school by getting good grades. Doing homework might be a task for some people that they might not understand. You have to do your homework. If they don't do their homework, they're not going to get the grades that they need, and they probably are going to need to repeat the class again. I know it can be a little tough for some people, but it's the way that life is. Like I try to do a lot to get myself done in life. Try to get my chores done that need to get done. I try to get my life done. I know I'm capable of driving, yes. And I know some people that are on the spectrum that might not be able to drive. I can understand that. It's real hard for some people to get tasks done because they might not be able to drive. They might have to depend on their parents to drive them, or their relatives to drive them, or take a bus to get to wherever they need to do to get their grocery shopping done, or to work. And I don't say driving is a daily task, but it is, And I know it can be frustrating for some people, and they might break down if you ask them to do a certain thing or a certain task. They might break down. They might get angry. They might cry. They might get upset. Because I know that in the past that has happened to me. So I know it can be hard to do tasks, but they have to be done. I know I'm repeating myself here, but that's the way it is. You have to get it done, And I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but, You know, I'm just trying to make a general point here that I know that the people that are on the spectrum have different tolerance levels and different abilities to do stuff. I can understand that because I know that, you know, I'm not capable of sometimes cleaning up after myself. I can understand that. Or clean up my bedroom or so, you know. Whereas my neighbor might not be able to have the capability of doing the trash. Or my other neighbor might not have the capability of doing laundry, you know. I'm just throwing out examples here, you know. And I can understand that. We each have to do our own thing, and we have to keep doing it. You know, I was doing the video of living on your own, or living on my own, whatever. And it's part of that. You have to do it. You know, if you're given an opportunity to live on your own without your mom or dad or without any other relatives, you have to figure it out. Because you're not always going to have people there to remind you to get this stuff done. You know, so, or you're not always going to have people to remind you not to buy this or not to go here or whatever. You know, you're going to be on your own. You're going to need to learn how to live on your own. I know some people might not understand that and not concept living on your own, but that's the way life is. You know? So, but anyways, make sure you get your tests done before before people get upset with you. Alright? And I'll talk to you guys all later.